Hey, traders. The Jesus chimes you just heard was for the weekly candle close. Happened seconds ago, 60 seconds ago, whatever. And that's it. That's the stream, man. I'm late by an hour or so. I was out. My mom's birthday coming up this week, so I was out celebrating with her and my dad. So, yeah. So welcome. 4-hour Bitcoin still making higher lows for now. Still kind of showing some hidden bullish divergence. But below that dreaded 19650, 19891. Weekly candle, what's it look like? Is it just closed? Oh, green candle. But again, right? Now 3 weeks. 3 weeks in a row of testing this level from 2017 as resistance, right? Thrice, 3 in a row. So yes, I mean, we know the bullish setup's there for Bitcoin, but the macro is terrible. So you can't be surprised if it fails miserably. And that's kind of it, man. I don't know. Positive momentum's building. So the hidden divergence is kind of like not really there right now. So yeah, if you could just get above 1991 level on the weekly, I think things would be a lot better, but really tough to do that with the VIX so elevated. That's kind of it, and not much has changed, man. I mean, you've been selling off 4 days in a row. It's been very flat this weekend too. And you go to Ethereum. I think Ethereum's just got price contraction going on. Really, really visible on the 4-hour. As you can see, right in apex, lower highs, higher lows. The closer you get to the apex, the higher the probability becomes of resolution, where it breaks up or down. I think where you are, I just don't know why we wouldn't see an 886 eventually. But hey, man, it's just going to go where Bitcoin goes. And again, Bitcoin's below the inflection points we desperately need to be above. Yikes. The weekly close on Ethereum. Oh, bullish and golden candle. You did close the weekly above the 200 moving average. That's nice. So you did have, I mean, there's like that one thing happening that's kind of okay. The 200 is being regarded and the engulfing, and that's it. But still well-established downtrend for now. I don't think it's enough to say, oh, it's time to go bullish, man. I think you just got some more downside. 1020 is a target eventually. If you're patient, you just think about like the massive bearish engulfing candle and then 3 weeks of price action after that engulfing candle. No one's really buying. I mean, the people that sold have still sold and they have not re-entered the market at all. And if you look left, you're below the 2018 cycle top. You're below it. In fact, if you just look at it like this, you can see what's happened, right? The candle high close and the wick high. Look at this. Tested once, twice, 3 times in a row, just like Bitcoin, respective to its own level. Failed. You broke it, and then 3 weeks of testing and re-regarding it as resistance again. That's not what you want to see. That is just not good. Not. I'm sorry. I don't care if it breaks the upside. That's just not good price action right now. It's not. Could be a good weekend where, you know, we've all been patiently waiting for the futures to reopen, which they have. And not a good start, really. I mean, of course, you know, who cares how it starts? It normally just reverses. It doesn't do much. It's going to go up and down tonight into the open tomorrow. But you're thinking much lower in time based on everything going on. Well, we got a CPI report coming out this week with the Thursday. And then you got like 5 different Fed speakers. It's just like, you know, that's the markets now. That's how the markets work. It's not a function. This is a dysfunctional market, right? Just every time, you know, someone from the Fed talks or a report comes out every other week, the market pumps or dumps on it. It's algo driven. It's dead market, dude. Bear market. That's it. Wow. Here's your Dow Jones. Interesting. You are below, currently, as I'm speaking to you, you are below the September 2020 peak. You're below it. You're below the November 2020 valley. You're below that level. And what we know about it, oh man, a lot up and down, right? You could be seeing 26,650 in time. Yeah, but man, what a drawdown. Very bearish trend. Nothing's changed. It'll take a lot of work before we become bullish again. It just will. Just like it took a long time, a lot of time to develop and reverse the trend. A lot of things had to happen. Lower highs, then lower lows, then lower highs again. I mean, you know, it took time, months. It'll take months for us to reverse to the upside, so. And then we can go to, like, you know, commodities that are open again. Just on the new week, right? That's why we're here. Gold. Oh, this one. Yeah, gold's still broken out, still above its key level, 1682. But you're not making higher highs, you're not making higher lows yet. A lot of work has to be done before we really go and can say we're reversing. Not yet. Just not yet. Look, you're like falling back below the demand line on the daily. Are y'all are y'all here? Is this stream on? Make sure. I don't know, decibel level's okay. I'm exhausted. I'm like ate a lot of food. Groggy, super groggy. You know, silver had a nice little pump, but not able to break 2070 yet. And hey, maybe it makes a higher low and gives us 3 rising valleys. That'd be nuts. We're okay. Okay, sweet. Copper looks bad. I don't like copper at all. Copper is just like terrible. Distribution, redistribution, hidden bearish divergence on the third peak. You would imagine 297, right? If this like structure is identified properly and actually plays out, then you're thinking $3. Rough, man. Scan through a lot of stuff today. What's up, Alistair? Thanks, dude. 288 super chat. Thank you, dude. Now, Palladium looks okay. Kind of, you know, made the higher low, then regarded the support as support again, then started showing accumulation. It's above the 200-day moving average for now, until it just collapses again. I think Palladium's in better shape than gold, silver, and copper. I'd imagine, right? The way it looks structurally, locally. And I think we had a notable event occur in the crypto market, Maker. If you don't understand about Maker, that went insane, has pulled back, and has been holding. I think this might have had to do with their whole they started buying like treasury bonds. So I don't think any crypto does that, but it's also a type 2 return of a bullish deep crab, type 1, and then type 2. You rallied off of it. And yeah, I mean, it did pivot and kind of randomly. I mean, besides the 1618, it was random. It wasn't really an inflection point from history. It just, you know, this will happen. Confirmation bottoms at 1618s or completion zones of Scott Carney patterns. So you wonder, will it break 1194? If it breaks 1194, bye-bye. I mean, this thing's going to 1744. Look, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. That's all it does is up, down. Like every single time, up, down. So if it ever broke it, you broke 1194, it'd be boom. Maker's up 46%. Just hasn't yet, and it may not. It may never break it. Just pointing out, this has been here for a while. They've hit an 886, the big one from the COVID crash low to the high. Yeah, and it's right around the 886 too, so it's not really that insane. I mean, this is where this type of stuff can happen. big old 886s. Right, if you think about like Maker hitting an 886 or exceeding it, and then you get a Bitcoin, you understand from the COVID crash low to high, you have not hit an 886. I mean, in fact, your 886 is like 12K. You're currently around a 78% retrace, which is a value perceived area. But again, just get me above this level and hold it, and macro stop being so trash. It's just not gonna. It's gonna be tough for this thing to play out. Which it's still literally valid. Like, right, the idea is still valid until you start falling really below that 18.5, the 886 of the sharp.
Happy birthday to your mom. Thanks for the stream.
Thanks, wife, boyfriend, for the birthday wishes for my mom. Yeah, appreciate it. Sure she does too. Yeah, it was a good one. Really good. Just super tired because I ate rich and ate well. You know, all that. Maker, oh, we can continue on. BNB. You know, BNB struggling, you know, supply line, harmonic completion. And yeah, I'm thinking just all depends on Bitcoin's direction, but you think it'll eventually find its way to like 211, 225. Just taking its sweet time, isn't it? Beautiful though. I mean, it's beautiful W shape. Well, the 200, and there's just, what does that all mean? It all represents distribution. Like less market participants owning the asset than they did before. Very subtly, very quietly. It's very similar to what you saw. I mean, like it's the same type of psychology as something like Apple. Like on, this is, you know, 4 hour, you go the daily on Apple, and it's really subtle. Normal people that don't care about charts are just going to look at it and not even think about it. But I mean, this represents something. This represents less market participants. Every time, 3 times, third peak, man, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And here we are, massive drawdown from there, hitting the supply line, the 886, the shark, and you know, once 138 breaks on Apple, it's probably straight down to 125. Just got to think about Bitcoin made a 78% retrace from the COVID crash low. Maker made a 93% retrace from the COVID crash low. What did Apple do? Apple has only made a 38% retrace from its COVID crash low to the all-time high. So I mean, like, let's say this was the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin would be down here, or Apple would be down here at 8150 if it performed as well or as bad as relative to Bitcoin. It'd be down another 41%. I mean, that is where Bitcoin is. And Maker was down here, the 886, or lower than the 886. So just context, would an outperformer, right? Apple, such a stronger performer than Bitcoin. Absolutely. But again, you've confirmed distribution. And you know the rule of 3. You know the rule of 3. Don't think you don't. This is like insiders and massive money selling. Like these are people exiting quietly, composite man, getting out up here. That's what that is. And once these levels break, these last remaining levels, it's going to be I think you'll test the 200-week moving average eventually on Apple around 108 here. What does that mean? If it did see the 200-week moving average, you got a good 23% downside on the largest market cap asset in the world. And we have this distribution structure on the weekly on multiple assets.
Hey Mitch, can we have a look at Tesla? Is it testing a major support?
No, it already did that and failed miserably. Thank you for the 20. No, it was doing that. We were looking at it all the time. It was testing 300 at resistance and then confirmed it on the daily. 3 times, 2 times, 3 times, whatever you want. Like it was confirmed that what was once resistance is resistance again. And that was it. It's like you're screwed. And now look at you. You will soon be testing support at 200. So you have a little bit more downside. But once that breaks, it's over, dude. Like think about a full reset on Tesla. What if Tesla just was going to do what Bitcoin's already done or what Maker's already done? Then you're talking about you'd be at 105 on Tesla if you did what Bitcoin did already from the COVID crash low to the high. And you'd be doing, be going to 65 bucks if you did what Maker did, or a lot of the altcoins that went to 886s plus 90%. Wow. Wow, dude, crazy. So, I mean, that was like another one that showed that classic distribution. And there were more. I'm trying to think. Other classic distribution structures. I was looking at them today as I was scanning. And not all are created equal. Some have already begun their massive descent, far more than the mega market caps. But you've got ones like Nvidia and AMD that have already plunged way lower. Right? You got Apple at a 382, but then you got Nvidia that's nearing a 786. It's nearing its similar performance to Bitcoin in the retrace. And so it's soon approaching a massive support at 117. If you don't hold that, you're already below the 200 week moving average on Nvidia, which is bad, really, really bad. And you got to understand below 117 equals $73. So that means like if Nvidia can't hold the 117 support, there is no reason why Nvidia won't eventually go down another 36.6% and then see an 88% retrace. The full reset, deep retrace, the value perceived area. It'll line up with the high from 2018 and pre-COVID crash high. So, wow, man. But then you go to stuff like Square that's already done that. It's already lost 88% of its value. The bubble popped on a lot of these, right? Low to high, you can see you're at the 886. You've been at the 886 since June. You had a rally, it sold off, and now look at you. I mean, you're like below a high from 2018. You're like pretty much what was once supposed to be support is now resistance. And if this is a real bearish back test, you got to understand the downside potential on Square is another 40%. Right? You'd be going to COVID crash lows from 2018. That's where you'd be headed, and I could believe it. But the way the VIX is going to bring all this stuff home for sure. And I was looking at like NEO, like a Chinese scrub. Dude, you're about to go down another 40% or 30%. Once this 1380 breaks, 30% downside, you just go straight down to the candlelight close from September 2018. You go fill a gap. You're like 960, 930 or whatever. Yeah, it's like a harmonic dud. It was beautiful. We caught a reaction reversal, couldn't break a resistance, and then now lower highs. Look at that shooting star right there below the 200 week. Yeah, man, this thing's probably about to mark down and probably going to the 886, right? From the low to the high. 886 is 879. That makes plenty of sense. I'd be surprised if we didn't see 879 eventually in the next few months on NIO, Chinese S-stock. Yep. So it's in all these are created equal. Look at this. You got like applied materials stock that is below and has tested. It broke the 200-week moving average a couple weeks ago, and for the past 2 weeks has been regarding that 200-week moving average as resistance. And you very seldom do that. I mean, when do you ever do that? It's bad. Very, very bad, man. Full reset's coming here. I mean, this thing's going to 69 bucks and then eventually probably like 60 bucks. You know what that's going to do? It's going to give you an 886 and you're going to test actual supports. Or at least between the 886, 786 where like more formal support is. Yeah, these things are, that's how the index funds are going to go much lower. You look at Intel, man. Look at this thing. Free fall. This is crashing. This is like a crash. It's like no one's buying. And it's going straight down. And now it's sitting at the peak from 1997, closed right around that level on Friday. And if that breaks, I would just imagine based on history, 17 bucks, which means if it breaks that support, And you just got a good 34% downside from here. And that's probably going to give you an 886. Yeah, close to it. 1870. That's what you're doing. You're just making full resets, massive M shapes. They're all being developed right now. Just spending a little time looking at weeklies because the weeklies closed on Friday. The weekly just closed on Bitcoin and crypto. How about PayPal? Remember how terrible PayPal is? You know what they tried to do this weekend? They tried to, they were testing the waters to see how many users they'd lose. And then they retracted it within 8 hours of posting. They said they would charge you $2,500 if you were caught spreading misinformation, which no one even knows what that means. It's so arbitrary. It's so, I don't know. It's just, there's so much room for interpretation of what that even means. That just means they could rob you anytime they want with impunity, and you'd have to take it because you're using their platform. And there was a lot of outrage. So I'm hoping this thing crashes tomorrow and goes to, $42. I think that would be your eventual target. Your hard target's $42 on PayPal after the crap they pulled today. Yep. But we can look at the daily again, revisit it, because it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, this is what dreams are made of. This type of stuff right here. 3 falling peaks and a well-established downtrend. Undeniable. Where bearish patterns play out really well. Even the bullish patterns play out okay, but they just make 50% 618s from their tops, and then they're done. Right? Like it hit the second profit-taking level and never saw it again. And now you're developing a bearish pattern. So it's like, okay, time to short. And targets. The third target's going to be 42.61. So yeah, well below the 200 moving average. The trend is your friend, and you've identified a bearish structure in a bearish trend. It's going to be reliable, and it's probably going to outperform. We'll see. That means it's going to certainly play out. Just like, I'd rather be shorting PayPal in these current market conditions than longing Bitcoin. I just would. Just would, man. I'd be looking to short something over completely long it. Trend's your friend. There's others though, man. Like we looked at this one. American Tower Corporation. It's a REIT. A real estate investment trust. It's just god awful, man. Like it's crashing. I mean, since the night, this thing's down 27% in 28 days. That's crash. That's crashing in stock market terms. And look how it just snapped through this support like it was nothing, capitulating somewhat. You just gotta wonder where this thing's gonna end up, where it's gonna find a bottom. It's disgusting so far. Dumping to no end. And then you got, wow, man. Investment managers, like the financials are like terrible. Like massive downtrend, outperforming bearish. Look, right? We had identified a bearish harmonic structure. And look how well it performed. That's how you know. That's what you know. It ended up being reliable, and it ended up outperforming. Exactly. If you were to identify something bullish in this downtrend, it might have been reliable. Probably not. But if it was reliable, it was going to underperform and fail to make a higher high and just be trash. And that would be the case. Yeah. So look at this thing. Look what's happened. Look what IVZ has done. A swing low from 2018, a swing low from August 2019, October 2019. You closed below it. You really went to back test it as resistance earlier in the week, and you're starting to roll over again. And you got to understand where, nothing even makes sense until 1172. And that's a peak, and then the valleys are like 991, and then the bottom's like way down here. And you talk about an 886. Look how much further, look where the 886 is, $9. Okay. That lines up with probably what makes the most sense here in this situation. Look at this over here, man. A thin order book where you are right now. A lot of downside potential, man. Wow. Let's go to switch it back to total. I forgot. If I can find it. There it is. Here's your total. your chart. It's just 4 hour, but it's like your downtrend, and you can see the bearish consolidation in the downtrend. That's not, I mean, like, if it breaks the upside, that's cool and all. Like, wow, it just randomly went to the upside, but you gotta understand, you're making lower highs, you're making lower lows, and this is just this consolidation that's been grinding for 3 weeks now. It's not even coming close to threatening the previous discernible high. That is just like textbook bearish consolidation. And it looks like it's getting ready to leg lower. But hey, man, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. And just, to me, it looks bad. I mean, as you can see the 200 moving average, how you're just below it. It's just following the trend right now. That's all that's happening. The weekly look, how'd it close? Oh man, look at the weekly 200 moving average. You know, third week in a row of failing to get back above it. Come on, man. I mean, I hope it pivots and double bottoms, but nothing's really implying that that's going to happen quite yet. I'm thinking maybe another test of 702 to 763. 2018 cycle top. All right. Yeah. I could go on all day looking at these stocks, man. I've been scanning and scanning. And a lot of them just look so done. Like they're done for, man. I think, man, so I looked at this one on Friday with y'all. Like, Tractor Supply Company. Man, one does not simply test and fail to break 200 unlimited times, is below the 200 moving average after crash. It just, to me, looks like it's setting up for a leg lower to at least 172, then 155. And you just got to understand, right? The downside potential is just so high. Or if this thing just does what Bitcoin does eventually, it goes to 107. If it just does what Bitcoin did in performance from its low to high, from the COVID crash to its all-time high, we're talking, it's got 46% downside of it. It could take a year. It could literally take 6 months, but that's your eventual target after, you know, down, up, down, like lower highs, lower lows. Okay, over and over, months go by, and then you start seeing the deep levels. Look at this, you know, I mean, talking about what makes more sense here. Oh my god, dude! Like like the real estate stocks are so done. We were looking at Boston properties, I think, on Friday, and just to reiterate, to relook at it again, to understand it's like your lowest level since 2010, and it's breaking supports, and you got to know where you're probably headed. 2000 peaks and 2004, 2009 valleys. I mean, $45 eventually. Why would it pause? Why would it pivot before then? That's probably where you're headed. You might bounce here briefly. I think if you do bounce, it's going to turn into a much lower high than previous highs, and you'll roll over again later. Dude, look at the utilities like Southern Company. Oh my god! I mean, it reminds me of KNC in ways. It was just like doing such good stuff, and then just a lot of utility companies doing this now. They're flushing too. So finally made a lower low. When's the last time it made a lower low, man? Last time it made a lower low was in July 2020, and now it's made a new one, right? So yeah, man. Like, I mean, just where's the argument to be bullish right now? There isn't much of one. Even if it does go higher, that's great. Look at this thing, SJM, the Smucker company. Looks like it's been rounding out, but just look where it happens to be stalling like so hard. Look at this massive W. Like, you had this run started in, you know, March 2009. Went all the way and topped out in June of 2016, and look at this, all these years, so many years gone by, developing the massive W, right? The one that's like the size of, forward or something like that. I mean, if this pivots here, can you imagine the type of cycle reverse? Do you think conditions are favorable for this to probably play out when liquidity keeps drying up and there's no more money in the system and it keeps being taken out and the VIX is elevated and the VIX pops? This thing's gonna fail. This is the area where massive, unbelievable reversals occur. You're getting up there. You didn't quite hit the 886, but you get like the 85% retrace on SJM. I'm just like, proceed with caution here. Big time effing caution, man. This is a massive size structure. I mean, look how beautiful it is on the weekly. When has it ever done that? Oh, me. Look at all the divergence. It's crazy. You had classic bearish divergence, and now you're showing, you can barely see it, but it's so real. From this peak to this peak that's lower, that is in fact back testing very subtly. Man, this is so subtle. Like, if you're not paying attention, if you're not plotting these horizontal lines, you're never gonna even know if it's doing it or not. But like, you can see clear as day, clear as week, February 21st, 2017, the peak right there. You can see the correlation of price action to that level 1 time, 2 times, 3rd, but now the 3rd time, right? You confirmed there were too many sellers and you dumped hard, and then you've rallied and you've confirmed distribution at this level. So it's a spring back test. It's an up thrust and back test of up thrust, the inverse of a spring back test. And look what you're doing on these 2 peaks, from one high to the slightly lower high. Hidden bearish divergence on the weekly. I mean, that is it's implying that a continuation down is coming, and this is exactly the level where you'd be thinking it would be coming. A completed W pattern. Remember the W pattern size? Talking about like a gas giant. This is like Uranus. 2,268 day large W pattern. Uranus or Neptune. Not quite Jupiter. We saw that.
Hey Michi, these markets are absolutely brutal. Papa Powell wants us all to eat bugs. Good thing we're all holding Pulse Dogecoin so we don't starve. Thoughts?
Is that true? I don't know, man. I don't want to eat the bugs. I don't want to eat the bugs. Then just short SJM for a year. Because this thing, man. It's literally like looking at Ford on the weekly here. This is much larger. This goes 2009 to 2020. I mean, it's like looking at that, flip the chart over and you're just talking about, oh man, this thing's sitting at 786 and collapsed. Or it's even not as good of a example at all. It'd be like Activision way back here on the daily, where you crashed, you dumped, and then the M shape, and then the M shape ushered in the massive reversal of the upside. Crazy. Now I think Activision though, I think it's gonna go full of gap. I think it's going to go test some peaks from 2017. I think the downside on Activision Blizzard from where it is right now is minimum 9.5%. I think look at the lower highs subtly being put in. Very, very subtle distribution that you wouldn't even pay attention to or care about if you didn't really care about TA. You wouldn't notice it. You wouldn't be paying attention to it. You wouldn't think anything of it. But these subtle lower highs are really important. It's the composite operator making his move, doing his thing. It is. I mean, like, think about CL. It's kind of hindsight now, but not really, because we've been looking at this. This thing had been showing distribution all year or 2 years. So you peaked out and then lower highs. Oh, what's going on with the lower high in the previous high? But it's the same high. Now lower highs again. And now look at you, breaking supports and hitting the lowest levels you had seen since April 2020. And I think the target's 61.45. I think you're why not, man? It always goes down there at this point. This is very, very subtle distribution, big insiders, big money, selling quietly. So you can barely even tell your retail. You can't tell me. And what else did it? Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola did the same type of stuff, that same old W reversal. Like the bearish Gartley that shall pass into legend. Very subtle, like, right? I mean, you made the high, then you made a lower high, then you made a lower low, previous low, then you made a lower high again, then a lower low. What's going on? Lower highs, lower lows, distribution. You rally, still a lower high than the previous high, then about the same, and then it completes the W. And look at you now, just free falling. Free falling. Coca-Cola, and the target's probably 50 bucks in time. There are others, man. Like, the credit card processors like Visa, look at this. All the distribution. So much effing distribution, and really hasn't even done much yet. You know, it's... I think MasterCard's worse. A little worse than Visa, but that's big money getting out of there quietly, subtly. MasterCard, yeah, look at that, man. They're out. But they did it with minimal losses, you know, and then the buy wall collapsed, and now look at you. You know, you made the lowest lows since October 2020, and soon it'll be, you know, where you are, there's not really much formal support. You'll be going to the lowest low since the COVID crash soon. And they're getting out, man. Look at that. It's not all bad. There are some energy stocks that are unbelievable. And there's like a fertilizer company, Mosaic company is kind of interesting here. Wow, like just is unaffected in many ways. And the trend has not truly reversed yet, because you still keep showing accumulation. And you're hitting a demand line of a long extended channel, and you're holding it for now. So it'll be very interesting to see some of these that have been outperforming what's going to continue. Like CLR was another one, like, oh my God, you know, it completed a W up here and played out. But still, somehow, some way, is making higher lows than previous lows. But locally, it's not making higher highs. So it's a big couple weeks coming up. This thing, we had identified the shark a long time ago. Identified the spring back test. An old peak and valley became support again. Broke the supply line. Man, and so many things were going on with this one. And I can't, it's just in the end, you're like, wow, look what it did since October. It's been unstoppable, but you know, you got to wonder, is it going to make a higher high? Are we going to recapture these previous highs? If not, classic distribution after completing a W. Shark. We looked at Suncor Energy. No, not yet. This is oil. You know, it's, you think maybe it's done? Below all the resistance. Some are better than others, man. But you even now have like consumer staples like Kellogg that looks like it might be done. Right, where it almost looks like Luna. It almost looks like natural gas, where you had a peak, sold off, then you created a head and shoulders. And that pattern is virtually complete now. I think it was confirmed as a real pattern on Friday when it closed below the neckline. Right, you look at this. You know, it's been such a nice run. It was a good Gartley. But you could clearly see the level of resistance. You failed twice to break it. And so it could be a long way down to test the bottom again. I'm just saying, it's like a fractal. It's like you look at that, you see it, then you look at this. I know it's different and stuff, but how much different is it? It's really not much. It's almost identical in ways, like the peak, sell off, and the head and shoulders, and then eventually plays out. So what? They're going to announce they're going to put the bugs in our cereal, and that's what's going to make them free fall like Luna? Maybe. Was there another request? I'm just kind of going all over the place because, I mean, there's not much activity going on right now. Bitcoin's not going anywhere like it ever does anymore. It's like a dead market, no liquidity left. It's just, hey, Bitcoin's the same price it was at June 18th. Same price. It's been months, same price. It goes, yeah, it varies between you know, the 18s and 25, but lately it's been worse. Like this spread, dead, man. Like for now, I think there'll be resolution at some point, but dang, man, it's just no meaningful swings at all. Cricket flakes, you know, be my favorite, man. Definitely would. Yeah, we can look at XRP. Forgot. Yeah, XRP, man. It's notable, man. It's been doing things others haven't, and it's notable. Like definitely, it made its highest daily candle close less than an hour ago. Highest close since May 9th. That's a big deal. And the weekly, man. The weekly on XRP. Forget about it. Massive bullish engulfing candle, back above the 200-week moving average, and the target is 58.5 cents. If you ever break that, there are a couple peaks, you know, some wicks and stuff, but man, you could, like, it's massive upside above 58.5 cents. It really could happen. And it's all this stuff's happening after what? It loses 88% of its value. It's all happening, right? I mean, yeah, this reversal's literally happening at an 886 from the COVID crash low to the high. 886. How many times you gotta watch the stream before you're like, hey man, that's an area where if it was gonna happen, you should be the least surprised. Yep, you should be the least surprised when an asset loses 88% of its value from previous low to high, and it does something like this. It's a massive, like, M shape. Cricket crunch. That's right, man. Yeah, was it Pulse Dogechain coin? Let's run to it because it's
Hi Mish, Q&T. Do we have a falling wedge on the hourly? How is Q&T looking on the daily? Hope you had a good time with your family today.
It went well, thank you, Skiing Rooster, for the 16. Yeah, we'll look at it. Show.
BTC 2-day hit and bearish?
I wouldn't be surprised, man. Nothing's gonna surprise me on Bitcoin. And I think the key ingredient to Bitcoin, where it goes, equals the VIX, the volatility index. That's it. What the VIX does soon will dictate Bitcoin's price action. If the VIX does what it looks like it's gonna do, then that's real bad for Bitcoin. Real bad. And not just Bitcoin, everything else. Pulse Dogechain coin, nothing burger on the weekly, really. We got that daily. That's bad, man. Really bad. Terrible. Meaning probably going much lower. That right there. You're correlating to a key level. You're regarding it as resistance. Bearish engulfing candle. You confirm the bearish engulfing candle. Yeah, I don't think this is really great right here. I think look, dude, even if it sells off, I think it's going to sell off next. But it could sell off to get 283 and make a higher low than the previous low and then pivot from there and make a double bottom. But for now, as it stands where we are, I think more downside on Pulse Dogechain Malone coin. It's no one's fault. It's not. I'm not trying to be mean or hurt your feelings. It's just look what how you're correlating to a level. You upthrusted, you back tested the upthrust. It's the inverse. It's like if this was like this, it'd be like, wow, you sprung, you back tested the spring, and you bullishly engulfed. Hey, man, this could go up higher. But it'll probably end up making a lower high than previous high before rolling over again, which is good for you because it could make a higher low and then run and make a higher high later. But for now, not a good spot. Not a great spot. It should have broken that and kept running, and then back tested it as support, not the top of the range is being regarded as resistance again. It's not good. Oh yeah, man, Beast Lorden. Yeah, Beast Lorden. Here it is, your Q&T. Yeah, my alert went off. Late September. I remember hearing the beep. So I like posted something about it. I said K&T or Q&T in the general chat, beep. But after you beeped, after the supply line was broken, you ran to what? The horizontal line? Went back to August 2021, you've broken it. Broken it, and now you're testing February 8th high, and I'm thinking your target, if things stay above 156 long enough, you could very well see 205, right? I mean, a lot of up and down and up, down, maybe up. Yeah, big Momo shift. Not many coins look like this, not really. It had to make all-time lows or whatever, at least on this chart. So you're saying, is it a what? Is it a falling wedge on the 60-minute? No way it'd be falling. Wouldn't it be rising? How would this be a falling wedge? I see that it was like a rectangle. If you're talking about the 60-minute, you're like making me analyze on the 60-minute. It was like a bullish rectangle. See the bullish rectangle, and it broke out. And that's it. I don't see a falling wedge or any wedge right here. Super strong though. It's killing it, man. It's awesome, dude. I hope you're making bank, man. If the VIX goes berserk, so you have a target of 197. If it can stay above 150 long enough, your cutoff's probably 150, because that's the resistance support that it's above. It just depends, man. Like, I mean, if the VIX starts collapsing, this will probably break back above 19,891, man. I think like that's the only thing that's gonna stop stop Bitcoin is an elevated volatility index. So it is not ensured that the VIX is gonna spike very soon. It might take a month. It might take 3 weeks from here. And then if that's the case, then this has got a chance to get back above 19,891 and run like crazy. All right, I don't know how many times I have to say it. Like, what's going on? It's like you have a textbook trade setup where the variables are all there in waves, right? The M shape, the type 2, divergence on the daily. Even locally, it's pretty cool to see like the lows and now a higher low and maybe another higher low. I mean, you're showing like accumulation here after bottoming out. Like if you flipped the chart, wouldn't you be able to see it? Like, look, I mean, you have the W, and then all of a sudden there's like distribution locally going on. You're making lower highs, man. Lower highs here, and there's hidden bearish divergence.
Interesting. If it breaks 200, we can a high chance we will head up 275% to 0.000001. XRP will run to $10 eventually.
No, it won't. Ollie, XRP is not going to $10. It's just not. But okay. Thank you for the contribution. We'll look at XRP to BTC. I'll give you that. All right. But okay, you get me? It's like locally lately right here. I mean, you are making lower highs. Just kidding. You're making higher lows. And you're working on hidden bullish divergence. So it's not dead yet. It's not dead really till I'm thinking it's breaking 18,650, 18,500. That's when you know the whole structure, the whole M shape is invalid. Yeah, man, we're in a tricky spot right here, dude. Really tricky spot. How is that VIX looking? Probably nothing. Dang, dude, VIX is up 2.69% today. No, or has it even reopened? I thought it would have. Nah, no, it's not here. No, it's not. Maybe it opens with pre-market or something. Okay, sorry, I'm just tired, man. Bitcoin 2-day. Dude, it's not dead yet. It's not dead yet. It's just below the key level you want to be above, but it doesn't mean it can't get back above that. It's all about the VIX, man. 2-day. It's too early, man. Too early. What happens if it rallies here, today? Look, it's like already like building positive Momo again. It just depends, man. It's too early. You can't say that yet. But it is coming off of classic bullish divergence. So you're okay there. You get above 19,891 again, I think you're good. But any VIX spike gonna kill Bitcoin. Let's see. XRP to BTC. Look at this, man. Look at your little the demand line of the the demand line. It's holding the demand line. Total market cap. Holding it again. Alright. TA being respected in some small way, I guess, right here. Until it's not. Yeah, you're probably gonna run. Probably gonna do stupid stuff until yeah, the CPI report, and then pump that day, and then dump, of course, right? Something like that. XRP to BTC, Beast Lord, Super Beast Lord. All the stuff it did was amazing last time we looked at it. Right, testing peaks from August 2021. I'm thinking eventually, it seems, based on historical price action, you would see 37.39 up there. That's what it does, man. That's what it does almost all the time. So I just can't be surprised if 37.39 happens. That means you're at 58 cents or higher, probably, in the US dollar pairing. If you ever broke that, wow, you're probably going to 5,900, and then eventually maybe a hard target's like almost 9,000. Pull up Vegeta memes. But look, the lowest lows, then the higher lows. All three of these are higher lows than this low. But most importantly, the levels from history were regarded as support. And the rally ensued after.
The only asset in crypto showing good accumulation and bullish signs. If and they win the case, it can go easily $10, $20. Only a 3x from all-time high does seem like much for the first regulated crypto.
It's the market cap, dude. It's the market cap that would make it not be able to go to $10. Can someone do the math on it? What would the market cap of XRP have to be for it to be at $10? Somebody help me out with that. Because, no. I'm not saying it can't go higher. In fact, I agree that it is one of the best looking cryptos out there right now. It and XLM look great. What they're doing. But let's be real and go with support resistance one at a time. You're just speculating on nothing, on a piece of data that doesn't exist yet. I'm just talking about the next resistance from history that we would have to break. Okay, XRP would have to be $500 billion. 500 billion. Okay. XRP is at 26.6 billion currently. If XRP had Bitcoin's current market cap, it'd be $7. Yeah, there you go, man. That's how you know it's not going to $10 anytime soon, if ever. Remember, they're not printing money anymore. Money's just not going to come out of nowhere and it just randomly ends up in XRP market cap. It's just not going to happen, dude. But yeah, Ethereum to Bitcoin, still this looks like a long extended range where eventually you can see the bottom of the range again. And that's it. And here it is, man. You're holding the demand line. This is this is Ethereum on the 4-hour with a neutral consolidation pattern, pin it or symmetrical triangle, holding that level. Could run, dude. But I wouldn't count on it. Again, I'm thinking the daily I think if you're just patient, you're going to get up and down, man. It's going to go up and down, and I'm going to go live, and so it's going to go up 1% or 2%. And so it's like, you said it was going down, man, as the chomp continues for a month, you know, of nothing. And eventually it'll see 1,020 or so, 886. All right, I've been live an hour. I'm so tired, man. I'm exhausted. I was thinking about not even going live. I'm just like dead, dude. Can't even like concentrate. All the blood's in my stomach right now, digesting food and whatever. Oh, okay. So, great new start of the week. But remember, Bitcoin's dead. Bitcoin's at right now. Bitcoin's been dead since it finally bottomed out June 18th. It is at the same price. Same price it was at 111 days ago. But in that 111-day period, you can clearly see that's a very, very interesting development where, and I'm not saying this time it'll play out, but I'm saying in history on foreign assets, different assets on different markets, even different times in history, even in crypto, this has turned into this. It really has. It's turned into that. Massive reversals. But we're in a situation that is kind of unique, pretty effing unique, where we're talking about we are in a recession, the VIX is elevated, and when that VIX pops, this thing will fail so bad, and you'll end up probably doing something like this. So if you can predict the VIX, you can probably predict what's going to be the outcome of Bitcoin. All right. But one thing we do know, well-established long-term downtrend, and there are assets that exist out there that had their nice little scrub loser rallies this summer and have completed bearish consolidation reversal patterns. They're going to be reliable and they're going to outperform. And that's it. So there's some good stuff to be short on currently. Some key supports that were broken have been back tested the past 2 weeks and are probably going way lower.
How long do you think BTC will staking for? Will ETH ever give up second place back to XRP like before? It's Ollie, but also why am I in a timeout? Did I break terms for mentioning XRP?
I don't know, man. Talk to the mods. How long, years. I think Bitcoin will be the king for many years to come from here. I don't think it's getting flipped anytime soon. Anytime soon. Nope. Not even close. And that's it. That's my opinion. I don't think Bitcoin's market cap is getting flipped by any other cryptocurrency in the world anytime soon. All right, you're not dead, but my God, when the VIX goes, so does the world. So I'll leave you with that. Thanks for the likes, love, support, contributions, everything in between. Forgive me being exhausted, just tired, man. And I'll just be back tomorrow. Just pay attention. We've got a big week coming up with 5 Fed speakers and the CPI report, and just keep watching the VIX, man. Until next time, respect, T, A. You didn't get banned, man. I think you just got timed out. I appreciate the contributions. Much love.